I am 76 years old now. When I say that out loud, it doesn't feel like a number. It feels like a long accumulation of days, of habits, of quiet choices that didn't seem important at the time. For most of my life, I believed that living well meant being available, always available, for everyone. And I was. From a very young age, I learned that my value came from helping, from making things easier, from not being a burden. If someone needed something, I showed up. If someone asked, I found a way. If someone was tired, I told myself I could handle a little more. Not because anyone demanded it, but because I believed that was what love looked like. My days were filled with ordinary moments, the kind that never feel special enough to remember until many years later. I woke up early, before the house came alive, before anyone else needed anything from me. I made coffee while already organizing everyone else's day in my mind. Appointments, deadlines, school schedules, groceries. There was always something to remember, always something to prepare. I solved problems quietly, often before anyone noticed there was a problem at all, and I did it naturally, automatically, like breathing. I never stopped to ask what I wanted. I never paused long enough to notice how tired I was becoming. I told myself there would be time later. There was always a later waiting somewhere ahead. When people asked if I was okay, I said yes, not because I was lying, but because I didn't know how to answer differently. Being okay meant managing, holding everything together, even when my body asked for rest, even when my mind felt full, even when the nights were quieter than I liked to admit. There were small dreams I kept postponing, nothing dramatic, nothing unreasonable, a class I thought about taking, a hobby that seemed unnecessary compared to responsibilities, an invitation I declined because someone else needed me that day, rest that I delayed because it didn't feel earned yet. There was always a logical reason, always something more important. Over time, I became very good at not needing anything, very good at saying, "I'll take care of it," very good at being strong. And when someone is always strong, people stop noticing when they are tired, not out of cruelty, but out of habit. Years passed without asking permission. Responsibilities changed shape, but they never disappeared. Even when people no longer needed me for practical things, they still needed me to listen, to support, to absorb worries, to be present. And I continued, steady, reliable, invisible. My body began sending quiet signals, a pain here, forgetfulness there, a tiredness that sleep didn't fix. I told myself it was age, that it was normal, that it was nothing. Minimizing was easier than stopping, until one day I stopped, not by choice, but by limit. There was no dramatic moment, no emergency that demanded attention, just an ordinary day when my body didn't respond the way it used to, a moment of weakness, a moment of fear. After that came calm conversations, spoken gently, carefully. "You need to rest. It's just for a while. You'll go back soon." I agreed. I always did. I packed a small bag, just the essentials. I told myself it wouldn't last long, that things would return to normal, that I was finally doing something for myself. It's strange how we only say that when we are already exhausted. Here, time moves differently. It doesn't rush toward deadlines. It doesn't chase responsibilities. It simply passes. And in this quieter rhythm, I began to hear something I had ignored for decades. Myself. Without constant demands, memories began to surface. Small moments, quiet moments, How often I said, "It's fine," when it wasn't. How many times I delayed my own needs because someone else needed me more. How easily I confused love with complete self-erasure. And I understood something no one ever taught me. Caring for others should never require disappearing from your own life. I don't regret the life I lived. I loved deeply. I cared sincerely. I showed up. I would do much of it again, but maybe differently. Maybe I would have said no sometimes. Maybe I would have rested without guilt. Maybe I would have listened to myself before my body forced me to. Because loving others should not mean forgetting who you are. Sitting here now, watching the day pass through a quiet window, I think about how many people are living this way right now. People who wake up tired, fall asleep tired, and tell themselves it's normal. People who feel guilty for even thinking about doing something for themselves. People who believe that stopping means failing. Life does not warn us when we are giving too much. It simply continues. And one day, when everything slows down, we realize we were always available for the world, but rarely available for ourselves. If I could go back, I wouldn't change everything, but I would change small things. I would protect my time more gently. I would understand that rest is not a reward. I would allow myself to exist beyond what I provide. I am 76 years old now, and I'm learning, perhaps later than I should have, that living for everyone is beautiful, but living without including yourself is quietly painful. I spent my whole life finding time for everyone else. I rearranged my days, my energy, my plans, my rest. There was always time to listen, time to help, time to show up. I believed that was what love looked like. And maybe it was. But now, here I am, with all the time in the world, and very few people with time for me. I don't say this with anger. I say it with clarity. Life doesn't punish us. It simply moves on. Work gets busy, children grow, responsibilities multiply. Days pass faster than we realize, and those who are always available slowly become invisible. Not because they don't matter, but because they never learned to step back. I don't regret loving. I don't regret caring. I don't regret being there. But I wish I had learned something sooner. Being present for everyone should never mean disappearing from your own life. If you are listening now and you recognize yourself here, please hear this gently. You don't have to wait until your body forces you to stop. You don't have to earn rest through exhaustion. You don't have to disappear to prove your love. One day, the noise fades, the requests stop, and the silence asks a question no one else can answer for you. Who were you living for, and who was living for you? I had time for everyone. Now, I have time to understand myself. And I hope you don't wait as long as I did. If this story touched you, tell me in the comments. At what moment did you realize you were giving too much of yourself?